Concrete is the most recycled construction material on Earth. Not paper, not metal, not plastic. Concrete. 405 million tons get recycled in America every single year. 85% of all the broken concrete on construction sites becomes new aggregate for new roads. You will not find that statistic on any disposal company website. You will not hear it from the hauler who quoted you $400 to take your patio away. It was the gap between the highway department and your driveway that nobody ever bothered to close. The same stone, two different prices. For $0, the broken concrete on your driveway is the same building material highway crews pay up to $7 per ton for. Highway crews are buying yours at the recycling yard right now. You crush it, you screen it, you compact it, and you have made exactly what road contractors call RCA, recycled concrete aggregate. The same RCA that sits under the interstate you drove on this morning. Your slab is 90% cement paste glued to gravel and sand. When you break it apart, you have not destroyed a building material, you have made one. The mechanism is simpler than the disposal industry will ever explain. Cement paste hardens around stone. When you fracture the cured result, the angular pieces lock together under compaction more tightly than the rounded river gravel sold at every landscape supply yard in your county. A small fraction of unhydrated cement, still trapped inside, rehydrates the moment it touches moisture. The base recements itself slowly. It gets stronger over time, not weaker. Minnesota and California highway departments documented this self-binding behavior in years of field testing. You are not building a workaround, you are building exactly what the highway is built from. Route 66 started this. In the 1940s, the first time American crews recycled concrete back into a road was Route 66 in Illinois during World War II. They crushed the original 1920s pavement on site. Then they laid it back down as the base for the new 4-lane highway. The same road, recycled into itself. You have probably driven on a road built exactly that way and never known it. The reason it worked then is the same reason it works in your backyard now. Cement paste does not stop being cement paste when you break it. By the early 2000s, 11 American states were doing this routinely. Germany legally required it. Japan ordered it by national regulation. Every developed country in the world figured out what to do with old concrete, except the people who paid for it. Public engineering documents have spelled out exactly which conditions a homeowner can meet on a tarp in the backyard for nearly 2 decades. You just never got the memo. The barrier was the equipment. Industrial crushers, grizzly screens, and rebar magnet separators did not scale down into the suburban backyard. So the practice lived its entire life inside contractor stockyards and highway department specs. The disposal economics did the rest. Recycled aggregate undercuts virgin stone by 30 to 50% across every market in the country. That gap is why every contractor with a brain switched over decades ago. A concrete-rated dumpster runs you $300 to $600 per week before you have hauled 1 pound to the gate. No hauler, no transfer station, no landfill operator had a commercial reason to tell you that your slab was worth more keeping than throwing away. Your hauler never mentioned. Salt Lake County charges $12 a ton for clean broken concrete at the recycling facility. It jumps to $36 the moment a single trash bag gets mixed in with the load. That is your first clue about what the system actually values. Pure broken concrete is worth something to them. Contaminated concrete becomes garbage they tax you for. Most of the country runs on the same logic with different numbers. Put the broader prices side by side and the math becomes hard to look away from. A municipal landfill charges you up to $100 per ton to accept clean broken concrete. A recycling facility down the same road takes that exact same concrete for $4 per ton when a contractor delivers it. You read that right, 25 times the price for identical material. The only difference is who is hauling it through the gate. Then the second invoice arrives. You almost never connect it to the first. You paid to dispose of 10 tons of broken concrete from your driveway. Then you drove to a landscape supplier and paid up to $250 per ton for crushed stone to rebuild the base of the same driveway you just demolished. The same stone moves twice. You pay both ways. You were on the wrong side of that math the entire time. Here is exactly how you keep your concrete. For any slab 4 inches thick or thinner with no rebar, your tool is an 8 to 12 pound sledgehammer. The move that matters before the first swing is digging a 6-inch void under the edge of the slab. That way, the concrete fractures cleanly instead of absorbing your energy into the soil beneath it. You strike 6 inches in from the edge. Then in a grid pattern, roughly 6 to 12 inches between strikes, working corner towards center, with a pry bar lifting cracked sections as they appear. Anything thicker than 4 inches, or anything reinforced calls for a rented electric jackhammer at $50 to $100 per day from any major hardware store. For embedded rebar and wire mesh, you cut with a reciprocating saw and a metal blade, or an angle grinder with a metal cut-off disc, or bolt cutters for the thinner remesh wire common in residential pours. You wear an N95 or P100 respirator without exception. Concrete dust contains respirable crystalline silica, which OSHA classifies as a confirmed lung carcinogen. A light spray of water on the slab before each strike suppresses the dust dramatically. Then you sort the rubble into 2 products. Large flat pieces with 1 smooth face become urbanite. For dry laid patios, retaining walls, fire pit rings, garden borders, and raised bed walls, stack them like flagstone, fit them by eye, and you have permanent hardscape for free. The smaller fragments crush down into base material. For driveways, French drains, foundation perimeter drainage, pipe bedding, and trench backfill, the EPA names every one of those by name as legitimate homeowner reuse. A wire mesh screen separates the larger chunks from the fines if you want graded aggregate. 3 limits matter. You need every one of them in your head before you swing the first hammer. Backyard crushed concrete cannot be poured into structural new concrete. 100% recycled aggregate replacement loses up to 33% of compressive strength. You do not pour your crushed slab into footings, foundations, or load-bearing pours. You use it as base, fill, drainage, and surface aggregate, the way every state highway department uses it on the road outside your house. The second limit is leachate chemistry. Freshly crushed concrete leaches alkaline water with a pH between 10.5 and 12.3. That is well above safe levels for surface and groundwater quality during the early period after placement. 8 years later, that same leachate measured neutral, atmospheric carbon dioxide carbonates the calcium hydroxide and shuts the alkaline pulse down. You do not place fresh crushed concrete directly against blueberries, azaleas, rhododendrons, or any acid-loving plant, and you do not surround a drinking water wellhead with it. A 6-month delay before backfilling around acid-loving plants solves most of this on its own. The third limit is rebar removal labor. A reinforced slab can take 3 to 4 times the effort of an unreinforced one. The wire mesh embedded in residential pours grabs every bucket and tooth if you do not pull it out first. The work is slow, honest, and physical. You should plan for it before you start. A single afternoon of unreinforced slab demolition can produce enough aggregate to base a small driveway. A full reinforced patio might take a weekend. The math still wins on every measurable axis. 80 years of highway department engineering, $0 in materials, permanent base aggregate recovered from your own slab, against $400 to $1,000 in tipping fees, plus another $1,200 to $2,500 in replacement stone you were about to import from a quarry. It was always priced out of your awareness, and now you can keep it. If you got this far, you already know more about recycled concrete than the hauler trying to charge you $400 to take yours away. Watch my previous video on Repair Index right here for the 2 chemistry that fills concrete cracks permanently. Subscribe so the next one finds you.